We're going to call the meeting to order, and so if you all find a seat and join us, or for those that want to stand in the back, but we'll give everybody time to get in. We're certainly glad to see such a wonderful turnout tonight. Thank you all for coming, for making the effort to be here. Appreciate it so much. As you all know, this is our second annual meeting of MiNORML, to be held on Friday tonight, 7 p.m. But anyway, I'd like to start out with just introducing briefly the board. This is Christine Landino. She is our Secretary-Treasurer.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
This is Lou Verling. He is our Membership Director. Carol Reed, former Secretary and very active board member. George Sherfield, my assistant. In other words, the buck stops at his desk when I'm out of the area.
So that's why he's there.
And last but not least, down here on the end, Melody Carr. And also new director of Wexford County Normal, by the way, up in my neck of the woods. Thank you very much. Anyway, members of the board, Don Barnes could not be here tonight because his boss said he had to work tonight. So we are one board member short. And Matt Abel, very understandable, our legal counsel, he couldn't attend tonight because his son Julian has an 8 p.m. Meet and greet baseball. So we know how that works. We're parents, you know, you're there for your child, not something like this. Child's number one priority. So anyway, this is the board, and thank you again for coming. And at this time, I'm going to just give you a brief update. As you all know, I'm sure you all know by now, Board of Canvassers approved our initiative to go on to the legislature. And I say our initiative, I'm talking about the marijuana, medical marijuana. I'm sorry.
Michigan Coalition for Compassionate
Thank you. The
Care.
Michigan Coalition for Compassionate Care organization that has done this for us here in the state of Michigan. And we're sure that it's probably not going to go anywhere in the legislature, but you know what? Miracles can happen. But we will definitely plan on November 4th is going to be our target day. And after November 4th, then we want the state of Michigan to just leave us patients the F alone. Let us enjoy the privacy of our homes and let us smoke and grow the kind of medicine we want to grow. So that's the update on that. Now, I'm going to briefly say, I mean, you know, give each and every one of yourselves a hand because each and every one of you helped in any way, small little way, to make this happen. What we're making history here in this state this year. Give yourselves a hand because you helped make it happen. All right, so with that all taken care of, I'm going to turn it over here to Christine. She's going to give us our treasurer's report and talk a little bit about her job.
I am I? Okay, well, obviously we're balanced to the penny again. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of bills this year, especially this past month. With Monroe Street coming up, that was a $600 expense for the table there. We had, I'm sorry, it's a $300. Excuse me. It was $600 to have the new normal brochures printed up, and then we just recently had a leaflet mailing, which was $900. So just for the month of March alone, we spent $1,083. So that left us with $311.08, and that's the lowest amount that I've seen since I've taken over. I feel so bad. But I'm sure Lou will still get us back on track with a nice membership drive, and all of us will start asking our friends, give us some help here. We have to get this passed. We have to get people registered to vote. That's our next step, is to get the vote out. Because unless we get the people to the polls to press that yes button, we did it all in vain. So that's basically where we stand. Our PayPal activity, we have a few people that have joined. It's definitely a good investment to keep the PayPal. Our cell phone, we originally had to put down a $250 deposit back in December of 2006, which we got back in December of 2007. And instead of getting that back as cash, what we did was we opted to do a credit. So we will not have a phone bill due until June, which will only then be $20 instead of the normal $46 that we pay every month. So that way we don't have anything coming out of the Treasury in regards to the phone bill for now. So, and we've got the brochures, we've got the leaflets, so now let's hope we can start building up the Treasury again, and let's gain some more members and get out the vote. I think that, and the only thing we need to do is to approve the Treasurer's report, which would be this thing. It says Treasurer's report.
Can I make a motion that we approve the Treasurer's report?
And then the balance sheet, which you can see relates, unfortunately, Steve, I know it's small because I can barely see it too, but I wanted to be a little green and do it on one page. So it shows that after the $30.73 that we still have in the legal fund, we have $280.33, and that matches exactly what's on our worksheet here. We have the 31106, which matches the bank statement, and then minus the 3083.
Okay.
So you can see that this all balances through your PayPal activity, and this is your bank statement.
All right.
So for the financial report.
I think there's been a motion already made.
I'll second it.
So we got a motion made by Carol, seconded by George. All in favor signify by yay.
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 Any nays? Motion passed unanimously. And I want to say with Christine, we thank her very much. She's doing an excellent job as our secretary. And this is an expensive time of year, as she says, for us, because we have the first leaflet to come out and we have the brochures to take care of to get ready for Hash Bash. However, we're going to replenish our treasury with Hash Bash this weekend to carry us on through to the summer and on up into initiative. And so I just wanted to add that real quickly.
Steve, can I interject something here?
Yes.
You were talking about the wonderful job Christine does, and she also put this informational packet together for the directors of the individual chapters. Is there any leader, chapter leader here that doesn't have one of these? Oh, there's several of them. Okay, I will get you. We don't have to start the meeting right now, but I will get you one.
Make sure
she
each
did
one
a
of you
wonderful
chapter
job
leaders
of it.
get one of these.
Yeah.
Most of this information came from the conference in California, but she just took it and put it together in a nice, orderly fashion, and it's very professional looking. I'm proud of it. Thank you, Christine.
The other thing that I wanted to say is that everybody is welcome to take packages of, I have voters' registrations that are already printed out. I have them in the back of the room at the Michigan Normal table, and I have them in packages of 250 and packages of 100. So you're welcome to just take the whole package and distribute them among your friends or whatever. And then there is also a stapled together 2 pages, the instructions for how to fill out the form, and then the second page is the city and county clerks that you would be sending these forms to, or if you have a rapport with your Secretary of State, you can just drop them off there and let them split it all up. Although the closer to the date that you get, is that in part of your lesson, Lou?
You're doing fine. Keep going.
Well, I didn't want to hog the limelight on you there.
Go for it. You're doing great.
Which, as we get closer to the election, obviously you're going to want to send it to the actual city, because there is about a 2-week lag if you send it to the Secretary of State, because it all starts with the city that that person is from, that they give the address. So it has to go there first, and it goes to the Secretary of State, comes back to the old city where you were registered, then it goes back to the Secretary of State, then it comes back to the city, which then,
It's a big round.
so it's a big
Voter
circle that
registration's
it
a
goes
job.
on, and you have to allow that 6 weeks for that to occur.
I can't expect the government to do anything in a hurry.
Well, of course not.
Other than taxes.
So next would be the minutes.
Well, you know what, and that's what I'm going to do. I think that we've all, as board, we've all read the January 5th minutes. And are there any corrections or additions?
And that's say, please, you know.
In that case, I would like a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved?
Melody made the motion,
Second?
second by Lou.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Seconded by Lou. Lou seconded. Okay. Okay, all in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay? No. Motion carried unanimously. Okay, and with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Lou to give us a brief report on how he's doing with membership directing.
Oh, thank you very much, Steve. I think I'm doing just fine. I just updated the membership spreadsheet 2 days ago, so it's current as of 2 days ago. And as of 2 days ago, we had 151 members paid up in good standing. So that's excellent. Since we started this organization in January of '03, a total of 465 people have joined the organization. Of those, approximately 1/3 are current members. I have done outreach. Last fall, I did a massive emailing campaign. Basically, I contacted everybody who's ever been a member of this organization and asked them to please renew. Didn't generate a lot of response. I'm thinking maybe it's more effective if it comes from somebody local. So I would like to work with the chapter leaders in the various counties, and if they'd be willing to do it, contact members in their county that are lapsed and see if you can't maybe encourage them back into the fold. Other thing, I guess this is a good thing to report, actually. When I think about all the various different kinds of problems I could have, this is probably about the sweetest problem a man could have. I've gotten a touch behind in sending out membership cards, and part of it is that I was out of blanks. So I just got some blanks. Thank you very much, George. And I'll be sending out membership cards here shortly. I guess running out of blanks for membership cards is kind of a really good problem. I'll take that problem anytime. And thank you for your patience. Cards will be out here shortly.
Lou?
Yes.
Here's my renewal and 5 new ones.
Whoa! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, we do this the same way the folks on the other side do. We encourage you to turn in your friends.
But that's in a good way.
Yes, how can I help you?
Turn on your friends.
I got it right here.
How about, you don't have a list of the members, like from Tuscaloosa County, that are not paid up?
Any chapter leader that wants contact information, I'll be happy to send them a spreadsheet of everybody in their county who's ever been a member.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the columns is expiration date. If you like, I can sort it by current or expired.
It's okay. I just email you mean?
Just email me. Any chapter leader that wants contact information for people in their county, if you would please, just email me.
If there's any with their dues not paid up, I'll bird dog them.
Well, exactly. I'm thinking maybe it's more effective if it comes from somebody local.
Right.
Because I did a massive campaign last fall. It was a lot of work. I didn't mind doing it, and I'd do it again if I thought it would be effective, but it wasn't.
I'd like to interject here to
Go for
anybody out there that might be feeling a little uneasy. We do not share your contact information with anyone outside of our organization. However, the other chapters are our organizations, so.
Exactly.
The one thing that we did have was we only had 5 returns this time out of all the ones that we sent out. So one of them was Richard Clement.
This was on your leaflet.
This was on the leaflet. So what happened? Did Richard show up?
He's not here today.
I don't think
I
he's here
think
this evening.
he's got a change of address.
Yeah, they gave me the change of address, but the forwarding was out of date, so we got it back.
Thank you so much.
That's how I knew the new address. Or if you might know these people, you could maybe
Make sure they get, make sure
they
your
get
leaflet.
it, or give us the new address and we'll resend it. The other one is Anna. It looks like Tetzyper. She lives on Pepper Hill in West Bloomfield.
Anna, you here? Nope.
Amanda Arcuri on Union Street in Midland.
No Amanda.
Joe Gonzalez on Polk Street in Farmington.
Hey Joe, what you know? No Joe.
And Matthew Smith
He's in
on
Arizona, by the way.
Com Place in Ann Arbor. Returned for better address. So. That was it. But
All
that
right.
was pretty good because we were averaging 10 to 12 returns. So we're down to 5.
Well, I keep track of them and
And the
we call them
one,
out.
and the one is going to get his. We'll send Richard his again, and
He'll probably be on a diet
we'll put a
tomorrow.
COD on it or something. I don't know. No. we'll remail it.
Okay, so we've done the approval of the bank statement, we've done the approval of minutes. And excuse me for pulling my glasses off, people, but and I'll get up close to my face, so don't freak out. I'm a blind hippie. What can I say?
And they did big print this time too.
Oh, I know, but I read it better without. But anyway, we're going to go next with fundraisers for
Yeah, what kind of
MiNORML.
fundraisers are we planning any? Do we have any
Well, obviously,
ideas?
the first fundraiser we're having is Monroe Street Fair. Charlie, are you here tonight?
I am.
All right, Charlie. Strike back here. Monroe Street Fair. Now, while I'm on that, I have the ones that told me that you would be willing to do barricade duty. When the meeting's over tonight, if you'll stay behind with Chris and I, what we want to do is work a quick schedule out so that you'll know what hour you're supposed to be at what barricade. And that way there's no confliction. And but we did promise to do that for Charlie. And Charlie, in turn, has us anchoring both ends of Monroe Street Fair with the MiNORML booth. So we are anchoring the Monroe Street Fair this year. MiNORML.
We're on both ends. Charlie's giving us the one end for making sure that all the barricades are taken care of. And then we paid for the west end. Where the west end is where we'll be selling our merchandise. And the east end, since it was given to us by Charlie, we're just going to be registering voters and perhaps the MiNORML member. That will be the only transactions happening on the east end table. And the barricade.
And if you have some things that some things that we're selling down at the MiNORML booth down there, if you want to put some down at our other booth on the east end, we can put them down there too. But something I was thinking over the last day or two, as the weather is going to be just fantastic tomorrow.
Yay!
One of our major goals is to sign up members.
Yeah.
There's going to be 2 table spaces left over for tomorrow. Now, if we had 2 more tables, we could use those to sign up more members because, again, if there's a ton of people, I think having more table space might be good for signing up members.
Either
Yeah,
voters or voters registration.
Yeah. And I couldn't order them fast enough today to put them on the truck, the rental truck that I had. Do you know anybody that could bring an extra table or 2 tomorrow to put at Monroe Street Fair? Because you can put it over by the MiNORML booth. You know, the booth we have over by...
All we got with it,
You
I
know,
know
I
I got
might
just 2
call Dan
tables for the
Solano and have him
merchandise.
bring his.
Charlie.
He's coming tomorrow.
Pardon me?
Charlie, go ahead.
Yeah, I just said I might call Dan Solano, see if he'll bring his.
Would I be able to bring a table for maybe extending mine with SSD? If there's-
Yeah, you can each bring a table, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
But
But if you find a vendor for one of those spaces, don't hesitate, Charlie.
All right. All right, but I just thought, yeah, if there's a bunch of people trying to get up and sign up, you know, why not have more room? Sure. That would be great.
Well, that's why we're
Okay.
trying to do more or less keep the people signing up as new members and or voters registration, since they would be taking a little while at the table to keep the table free for selling merchandise, keep the
Keep them
merchandise
down at
on
the
the
east
one
end.
end,
Yeah.
and then the voters registration and membership on the other end, so that people are, you know, they can take their time filling out the forms, not feeling that they're being rushed because the guy behind them only wants to buy a $5 gold pin, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a great
Yeah, once they
strategy,
fill
and I
out
think
their
it's going to
form,
be
if they
crazy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Once they fill out their form, if they're going to get a T-shirt, then all they have to do is bring their form and
Yeah.
come down to the other booth, you know,
And
and
get
I
their
give them
T-shirt
their,
right there,
I give
yeah.
their T-shirt. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and take their dues.
It's supposed to be 60 degrees tomorrow, so let's all look
Well,
forward.
that's fantastic.
So let's look forward to that. Tomorrow, Chris, have you spoke with Adam lately about what he's planning with the hash bash? Okay. Last I heard was that Adam had spoke with the other student group.
Adam's not here tonight? Nope.
No.
Okay.
And they made an arrangement that Adam was going to get to speak on stage for a brief period of time, starting at high noon. And that John Sinclair would have a word or a length of time on the stage there. And then that they would make an announcement and we would all go over to Monroe Street Fair. And then we would have speakers on the stage there. Then after that we would have the bands and carry on throughout the day. So that's the latest on the hash bash as I understand it, according to Adam. So that's the latest that I understand. Has anybody heard any different? Or
Is that going to be a problem for you, Charlie?
No.
Cool.
no, we have speech on our permit and all of that. So not that you need it. You don't need it.
Folks, like I said, nobody can stop hash bash. Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop a force of nature.
Can't stop Christmas.
The hippies are coming. You know, so get ready. University of Michigan, get ready. This is our 37th year family reunion.
So, well, it does cause one issue, and that is for once we leave the area and we're gone, and the other group has their concert going on the diag. There are often a lot of people that get the hash bash later in the day, and so we'd like to have a few people hanging out at the diag, or going back to the diag or whatever, maybe handing out some postcards or whatever. Maybe try and draw some people back to the Monroe Street Fair. So I'd be looking for some volunteers to help out with that, both after the hash bash is ended and maybe even during the hash bash, kind of hand these around to kind of get the word out.
You might want to think about getting some chalk and marking the sidewalks.
Yeah.
From that diag to the Monroe Street Fair. That's a great idea.
Charlie,
I've got street
I'm on the
truck.
sidewalk. Yeah, I'll take some.
I'll take some of those to diag.
Take some of those.
We'll hand them out after the meeting.
right along with Monroe Street Fair, Chris. I know you're here, Chris Childs. Do you want to say anything about hash bash? About hash bash?
Not in particular. I don't mean to be like representative for MiNORML. Andrew spoke with me an hour ago. He told me that he had some prior commitments and he couldn't be here. I'm sorry for the difficulties, etc.
Oh, hey, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, man. It's just, you're a college student, you're there, and so I didn't know if you had anything that you needed to share with the group,
No, in particular.
so, okay.
We was trying to give Students for Sensible Drug Policy a plug there.
Absolutely, we
They're
were.
a good organization.
A very good organization.
We will be at some Street Fair. At table, selling T-shirts. And
1 o'clock till 5, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, the Monroe Street Fair, the entertainment lasts from 1 until 5:30, and then cleanup is generally from 5:30 to 6:30. I like to have the vendors torn down by about a little bit before 6, so they're off by 6:15, so that I can move that big stage out of there between 6:15 and 6:30. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make sure and have ours down, Charlie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's never an issue.
All right.
You've been doing it for so long over there.
Yep.
So it's a routine.
You know, add along with Charlie too, this is something we all can do as an individual that will help make everybody's work lighter, is while you're at Monroe Street Fair, if you happen to see a piece of paper or anything on the ground, it would be great if you'd pick it up and throw it in a trash can, because that's what we're going to do, is we're going to help Charlie make that area look better than it did before he brought the Monroe Street Fair onto it. So yeah, if you see anything laying on the ground, bend over and pick it. It's good exercise, especially for me.
That is one other area of one other task for volunteers, and I do have the trash grippers for picking up trash.
I don't even have to bend over.
I have 4 of those, so whenever you feel like it's the appropriate time to maybe send out a few people to pick up trash in the area, I've got 4 of the grippers for that.
All right.
So we're looking good. I've also got volunteers that I've brought for tomorrow, and we should be looking great as a team. This is the year I feel it's been organized best.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I got a question, Steve.
Yes, Carol.
I'd like to know the group that we're going to be mingling with on the Diag. Who is it?
I don't know.
Okay, do we know at all who
The name
this-
of the group is Focus. I'm not sure what the acronym stands for exactly. It's Focus spelled with a K.
Okay.
And they're,
It's
I
a
think
student group?
Yeah, it's actually planned pretty well from my perspective. They have a lot of groups signed. They have a lot of sponsorship from the university, and they're holding some kind of block party, I think.
Okay.
So they will have music playing and just other things.
So
going on
we
with
can
that.
attend their event.
Actually, I firmly believe this group Focus, and I agree with Adam. Our beef's not with the students. Our beef is with the university itself. They're always going to do this to us. They're really pissed off because we got our shit together and got a medical marijuana initiative going. So they're going to make things tough for us this year. And they're going to watch us closely this year to see how we behave. So...
I wouldn't suggest you would try to disrupt their event, but just our presence is going to disrupt their event.
Well, and that's what I meant. As I said, you can't stop hash bash,
Right,
because the stoners are going to be there. Whether Focus or anybody likes it or not, they're going to be there. So we'll just have to all get along.
And do not light up on the Diag. The
Right.
Diag is part of the University of Michigan, which comes under Michigan laws, not Ann Arbor laws.
And I know there are some new ones in here that have never, I think maybe never even experienced a hash bash, so you want to listen to that closely. Not University of Michigan property. It ain't worth it.
Monroe Street is Ann Arbor. It's $25 fine. I think it's $50 now, isn't it?
No, 25.
25?
Still 25.
$25 fine on Monroe Street.
Diag.
If they want to
Diag,
write a
they
ticket.
have to answer to the state police.
Now, if you go up on Monroe Street and blow it right in their face, he or she might decide to write you a $25 ticket, but we don't have to do that. And they're
We've
pretty
never
good
had a
on
problem.
Monroe Street, aren't they, Charlie?
Yeah.
I've never seen a problem. So another thing too, the barricade duty. In the history of Monroe Street Fair, the barricade, knock on wood, has never had to be moved for emergency vehicle.
No,
Imagine
stand
that.
there, hang out.
Yeah.
It's great.
So put some chairs over there. You can sit down, relax. So,
Get some
All right.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. Just see me on the way
Tomorrow.
out or over there. Yeah, everybody, we're looking forward to tomorrow. So
And
it's
then-
gonna be great.
be there about what time in the morning?
I'll be there about 8 o'clock, because I want to get the cars towed if there's any cars in the way.
Okay.
So 8:30. So I expect everybody else to start showing up about 9:30, quarter to 10.
Actually, Mel and I are going to be over there at the MiNORML booth probably about 8:30.
You'll be there early too?
Yep, we're going to be
Oh,
there
that'd be
early. I'm going to make
fantastic.
sure I get a good parking place. I got $20 worth of quarters to get to Ann Arbor.
That's another big tip. Get there early for parking and bring your quarters.
Well, I'm tired of paying $100 to park for Ann Arbor Monroe Street Fair and
Right.
$25 to park for it. So I've got my quarters. I'm going to feed the meter. I learned my lesson. They want some money too.
Yeah. Again, thank
All
you,
right.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. And obviously, as I said before, that is our first and usually biggest fundraiser for MiNORML through the year is Monroe Street Fair. So that and our membership drive. And right when Lou was talking about membership drive, everybody said good luck. But I said, well, let's make our goal at the end of the year 1,000. We could do it. When George Sherfield signs up 5 new members and has promised, what did you say, George, 3 more?
I got 3 more thinking about. At least one of them will join, I think.
And I said, now, if every Michigan Normal member just got that many members, we'd be at 1,000 by the end of the year. We would. So talk to your family and friends about it, definitely.
Especially because you're still doing the 2-for-1 as long as you're both living in the same house, living together, significant other, however you want to put it. You can do both 2 for 15. Obviously, you're not going to get 2 T-shirts.
We're not trying to gouge the husband and wife.
But you'll only get 1 leaflet as opposed to, a leaflet for each of you. But in return, your membership is both of you for $15.
Right, and we're equal opportunity in this way. As long as 2 people are sharing an address, we don't much care what else they're sharing. If they're willing to share a newspaper, then they can sign up 2 for 1.
By the way, you can take Marie off the mailing list. I'm always giving 2.
Oh, all right.
So other than Monroe Street Fair, I do want to add, as far as Michigan Normal fundraisers, obviously the Michigan Normal booth and merchandise stay up north with me. And last year, because of the initiative drive, I wasn't able to set up, and my mother lives right on 31, main drag through town. Benson County is very warm, very receptive, and I have set the Michigan Normal booth up in her front yard in times past, and done successfully good, and had some good conversations with some good people from all over the state, because there are people from all over the state coming up and down 31.
Cool.
So that's going to be another fundraiser to help plenish our treasury this summer. And then absolutely fundraising, like I said, I encourage each one of you, become a Michigan Normal member, get your friends and families to become a Michigan Normal member. This is a historical year to be a Michigan Normal member, because we are going to see medical marijuana pass come November 4th here in the state of Michigan. So anyway, I want to move this meeting right along, because I don't want us to have to sit for a whole long time, and I do give a break in the middle. But as we go through this board business, we'll see how far we get. Next thing we wanted to bring up was about the advisory committee, the creation of it and the substance of it. And, before I speak on that, I'm going to ask any of you board members, would you like to share with why we wanted an advisory committee?
Yeah, I'll comment on that.
All right.
I've always used people in the organization to get information from, how they thought this idea would go or that idea would go. Trina Moss is one of my favorite. Whenever I have a question even when I was director, what do you think of this? I would go to Trina and a few others to find out feedback of how the membership wants things to run. And that's pretty much what we want to do now. We don't want to be a board to make all the decisions without some input from the membership. So that's why I would like to see an advisory committee.
Any other board member?
Well, it's just that we have such a wealth of talent and ideas and energy, and there are so many ideas floating around that 7 people can't do it all. The people who we have asked to be on this advisory committee are people who have ideas, who have energy, who have some idea on follow-through. And, it's just making a stronger organization to tap into the talent that already exists in the community.
And also, we just sat around the table and thought about all of the activists that need to be recognized. And if we missed anybody or you want to be on the advisory board, just let us know and we'll gladly consider you.
In fact, there's a list of everybody on your board on the suggestions or subjects for the meeting. So the last page is everybody's name that's on the board.
Well, the flyers were printed up with some of the names, but there's been people added since, so they're
right. And that was going to be one of my suggestions as far as the names so far on our letterhead. Instead of putting advisory board since at times it's going to be changing, now we've got a list of how many people, and I think that just putting everybody's name just makes it look too cluttered, and we want to look more professional in our
I wouldn't think it would go
in our
on
letterhead. So I would just suggest just the board be listed on the letterhead on the left side.
I'm pretty sure that's the way National Normal does it.
Yeah.
also.
Yes.
Yeah, because right now we've
But
got,
then on
we
the
had a
brochure,
couple
the
board
advisory
members
board
and
is
one-
listed.
advisories, and one did just pass away, so now that means that letterhead is obsolete, so to speak. So I
Charlie,
think if
Fred, could I get you to pass some of those out? Yeah. Just people here. Thanks.
Is
know,
the sign-in sheet maybe
I would like to
around
say-
the room, please?
Oh, yeah, sign-up sheet going around okay? Everybody getting signed in?
I don't know if there's one going around.
Yeah,
We
sure.
started.
I thought about throwing out a joke and say we need that information for our local FBI, but
You've already got my information.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Sure.
you know, I tell
Here's
people
the
all the
message for
time,
'em.
if you're even with a person that smokes pot, trust me, they know. You're not hiding anything.
Here's the message for them.
There's the message for them, right, John? Right on. Let's see. Well, you know, the advisory committee, this is what I want to see, and this kind of goes along with what Melody was saying. We have such a wealth of talent, and we do. We come from all different walks of life, you know, here in this room right now. And I want to see that talent used. And I see anybody that serves on this advisory committee is coming up to the board and, hey, I got this idea. And they run it past the board. And the board goes, hey, that sounds like a damn good idea. You know, and then this advisory, you know, we tell this advisory committee member, go for it, you know, we're behind you 100%. And that way different ideas get tried out, you know, and it includes the general membership. So, yes, Kurt.
I get ideas sometimes.
Pardon?
I get some ideas sometimes. If you guys want me to work on that, I'd love to.
If you want to be on the advisory committee, we'd love to have you. Okay, see, we got a new member.
I just got to catch up with my dudes.
Yeah,
you
it's a
do.
must.
That's part of it.
That is part of it. You're right, that is part of it.
I'll take care of that tonight.
Okay. So anyway, and I want to say about the brochures, like I say, or like Christine pointed out, there are some different names on the brochures. I want you to know our brochure every year is a work in progress. And we owe our beautiful, and I mean, I've heard it talked about in all over the United States, our brochure right here in Michigan, and that's done by none other than George Sherfield down here. Like I say, it's a work in progress. It gets better every year, just like our leaflet.
Thank you.
All right, so let's see. I think that takes care of the next order of business. Hash bash, responsible use of booth. You wanna, Chris, let them know what our rules are in the booth.
Okay, basically what we're going to do is, I have some tags made up for people that are already on the board, and for the people that we already know that have volunteered, Greg Kaiseki, Mikey Zero, Victor Vicious, a couple of other people that he sent me, and we've already got the name tags done up. And then we have a few blanks, so as people volunteer, we will add their name on and you can wear that tag. That tag will allow you to come behind the tables that we'll have set up on Monroe Street. Otherwise, we just can't have every member in the world walking behind those tables, because we're taking care of money, we're taking care of business, and if you don't really belong there, you don't belong there. I don't want to sound mean or anything, you know, but if you're having an instance where you do need to sit down for a few minutes, you know, because of whatever your medical condition may be, just let us know, you know, and we'll get a chair for you. We'll make sure that you can get comfortable, but all in all, the only people that should be behind the booths are the people that are watching either A, the barricades, or B, actually doing the actual sign-up of people for the voters registration or for a member, or doing the sales down at the west end at that table. So, and it'll make it easier for people who might not know everybody, that if they don't have that tag on, they cannot come behind the table. Unless they have a really, 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 really good excuse. I mean, you know, I mean, sometimes you just
We don't have
have to.
bathrooms back there either.
Well, and sometimes you just have to sit down, you know, and there will be a chair available if you get to that point and you need to sit for a few minutes. Because I know there's like no benches out there for you to sit on. You're going to be on your feet most of the day, so we don't want to say mean and say, no, you can't come behind the table, but we want to limit it and help our people limit it by giving the name tags. So, and plus, as you see us out in the crowd, if you have a question or anything, you'll know anybody that you see with a name tag on. They're a good source of information to ask for where something might be, how to do something, what kind of help, or how can I help, what can I do.
You can even turn your filled in new memberships. You can turn it into any one of us.
Or if you filled out a voter registration form, you can turn it into any one of them also.
And I'm thinking that if anybody's collecting money, they should have one of these on. If they're collecting money
I
for
would
Michigan
not
NORML.
give any money to anybody that does not have.
They don't have one of these
tag.
on. Don't let them say they represent Michigan NORML or anything.
Right. And actually, what about merchandising? About the merchandising table?
Yeah, if you know how to move your lips.
Okay. Merchandise table. In the Michigan NORML booth on the west end will be all the merchandise. Okay, and what I would ask is that there be no food or drink set on the merchandise table, because if it accidentally gets spilled, and here I am, I'm on our table with this, but merchandise table, no food, no drink on the table. Don't set on the cases that the shirts are in, because they will break. They will not hold a body. So you can't set on the cases. And then the hardest problem we always have is, and I know everybody's got merchandise, you know, and put my stuff out, and give me half or something like that. If we do it for too many people, then it becomes quite a hassle, and we're not really doing Michigan NORML justice, because the merchandise that is there has already been bought and paid for by Michigan NORML. And so therefore, that should be the top selling item in the Michigan NORML booth, and not somebody that wants to share. I've always suggested that members that have goods to share need to get their heads together and share a space. Tell Charlie, hey, we're going to have, some T-shirts going over here and some incense going here, and but get with Charlie and share the expense of a tent. So there's an idea, and I think that's pretty well covers. And again, just like Chris says, we don't mean to sound mean, but we're trying to keep the Michigan NORML booths organized and professional, and mindful that we're being watched. So let's show them that we're our very best behavior. So okay.
And we'll also let people know. We'll have it announced. We'll have Charlie announce that please don't give money to anybody that does not have that Michigan NORML tag on, because they'll definitely be an imposter.
Are they having a bucket drive on the diag?
Now I don't know.
I guess only Adam Brook would know that.
Well,
Chris just said no.
No, Chris said no.
If you don't have a permit, you can't.
You don't have the permit. If you don't have the permit for the audio, doesn't the permit also for the table, like for the register the voters and all that all comes under that.
Okay, Chris, I'm going to ask you if you would mind letting them know, follow up on the meeting dates, when the next meeting will be, and where? Or would you like me to?
Well, you'd made the suggestion for the first meeting was held Saturday, January 5th at 1:30 here. This is our second meeting, April the 4th. Now, you had suggested for the third meeting to be held Saturday, June 28th at 1:30 p.m. in Benzonia at your place.
Actually, it won't be at my place. It'll be the Benzonia Township Hall in Benzonia.
That will be our third annual meeting of the year, and I'll be putting out, like an address so you can go to MapQuest. I also have a motel lined up that I'll be putting the information out on for those of you that want to come up north but want to stay in a motel. And then I want to tell you too that it's going to be a wonderful weekend. You're going to get a little up north experience, especially for you city dwellers down here. You owe it to yourself to come up north and let us pamper you a little bit. Because God knows we know what you go through living down here in the big city. And so we want to bring you up north and pamper you a little bit. And my son-in-law and my daughter is going to feed everybody that comes up authentic Mexican food. So, so we'll have a good time.
The only thing that I wanted to suggest was because in your email that you sent out, you said was to have a private board meeting the day of the public meeting, or I made the suggestion to make it an hour or so earlier, because you had said, may I suggest that we hold our annual private meeting either on Friday evening or Sunday morning.
Right.
And a lot of us can't really spend the night. We have obligations that we have to take care of. So,
so that's
just
between
like
us board members.
Well, yeah, but just like we did back in January, we had, an hour before the regular meeting, we had the board meeting. So if that would be all right with the rest of the board to have it just an hour before the regular meeting.
Yeah.
I think it's most convenient.
Would that be good for
and
all of you?
everything would be done that
We can do that every
Saturday.
time.
Good, good. So do we need to make a motion for that as a board? Oh,
Yes, we do.
We do. Well, is there any?
Well, and then our fourth meeting will be held on Saturday, October the 18th at 1:30 p.m. here in Ann Arbor. And I think this will be a good point for all of us to really get together and decide what our last push is going to be and how we can really get these people out to vote. Because by then we're only going to be like 3 weeks away from the actual election. And that's when we're going to really need our push. And maybe if we're lucky, we might even be able to get Diane Byram to come speak at the meeting and give us all some tips on what we can do and how we can help this all along.
Yeah, because we're going to be the foot soldiers come election time. We're going to be putting up signs all over the state. We're going to be getting people out to vote. So.
On that note, like flyers or stickers, is the Michigan Compassionate Coalition for
Michigan Coalition for Compassionate Care.
That's
MC3.
Are they going to be providing us with these flyers and stickers and what have you?
I would very much think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I would very much think so.
You don't have a definitive answer.
And I know they're counting on us to help set signs all over the state come election day.
Yeah, I want to come a few in my yard.
Oh yeah, I think we're going to play a very active role as we get closer to November. I really do.
They've said that they will have some public relations piece to pass out, a brochure, a pamphlet, something. And it may even be the same one that we passed out during the signature drive if they decide that there's nothing in it that's terribly dated. It's all the basic information and where to go. So I think they're kind of figuring that out.
Yeah, I think part of what their strategy is to sort of lay low because we're not on anybody's radar screen right now. So it's not really a great big issue. And as we get closer to the election, then we'll be able to spend the money that we do have on the advertising that will be needed to counteract any of our opponents' advertising. And if we're quiet now, I don't think the opponents right now are going to be coming out and saying anything because there's nothing to say anything to. We're not responding. We're sort of covered up, waiting to pop out and just bring this little surprise September, October. Here we are,
And I think we're all going to pleasantly be surprised come October. Definitely. But listen, I want to get real. Yes.
I would like to see us, if we pass in November, we got to celebrate. We got to schedule something for celebration somewhere.
What
you notice?
No, not if, when pass it.
We already set the. I know we have to set the fourth meeing for in October, wasn't it?
October, but the election's not till November.
Yeah.
So.
Fourth meetings and.
Fourth meeting is October.
So then it's
October
either.
18th. Yeah.
What does the membership want to do in that case? Do you feel that we need to push for on October 18th to find out what it is that we need to do for the election?
Absolutely.
Or would we rather have a meeting after the election, say maybe November 15th, you know, in that sort of time frame, where we can all party hardy and, you know, say, you know, yeah, we got it done, you know. So it's sort of, I would leave it up to the membership, basically, that's here, you know, when do they want it? Do they want it after the election?
I say both.
Or
Well, I do know that there are a lot of home games here at the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
And therefore, this is why I settled on this date, because this was the only weekend that Aaron had Comfort Inn here open. Because he has home games at different intervals. I think like November was like completely sewed up here with like football or something.
Oh yeah, and that's close to Christmas too, where you have all your Christmas parties.
I believe that the discussion at the last meeting, we kind of hashed this over, and people seemed to feel that we needed to have the meeting in October
Yeah,
so that we could have our last minute strategy going. And I have faith that we will find a way to get together for a party.
And that's what
I don't think we're going to need a lot of lead time for that.
I think we should stick to our October date for a fourth quarter meeting, and then when we pass this in November 4th, we will organize a party somewhere.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
We just need a motion for the third
You got
meeting
somebody
to be
here that's got a
held.
question.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to know, is there anybody planning to be setting up a little gathering to watch the election returns?
That's why you should have a party.
Well, I think
Let's get them.
Well, that's
I
something
think
that we
the
can-
election returns, I think, are going to be Gersh's local chapters. I know that. I know up in Benzie County, and Benzie County and Wexford County is going to be together probably at the big screen TV night of November 4th. So.
Yeah, and with us having a meeting on October the 18th, that'll give us a chance to find out who's planning on doing what and starting, you know, and share that information.
Okay. And I know we up north people, I know we're going to be responsible for Traverse City probably, putting up signs. So yeah, I think that's going to be a local thing, Gersh.
Okay.
I was just saying for the Washington County people, I've got a heated barn 4 or 5 miles on the street. That we could all go there and sit around for free and watch it.
Yeah. There you go.
Where's that?
9 mile past Michigan Avenue. Don Carpenter, same damn street.
Okay.
So basically, we just need a
Well,
motion for...
I was going to say, we did have, we were talking about the board meeting, annual board meeting.
Yes.
Our third quarter meeting starts at 1:30, right in the afternoon.
Right, so have...
I'm going to suggest 12 o'clock. That way we get a board meeting going by 12:30. So if we're all in favor of it, of having an early board meeting before the meeting. And said, okay, so all I need is a motion.
Second. Oh, I thought you motioned, not second.
Okay, motion by me, seconded by George. I don't think I've ever made a motion.
Hey, it's about time.
Buzz?
On election day, don't vote alone. Don't sit around waiting for the outcome.
Take a friend.
Load your car up and take everybody to the poll.
Absolutely.
Don't wait until you go with an empty seat.
Very good idea.
Okay, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Annual board meeting for 2008 set for 12 noon, June 18th? June 28th. June 28th.
In Benzonia, and the
that will-
general membership meeting at 1:30 p.m.
Right. Now I have just one more quick question. Does the board want to meet at my house, or does the board want to meet where we're having the regular meeting so that we're already there?
At your house.
I'll second that.
At the house it is.
At the house
Okay,
it is.
at the house it is.
We'll be there really fast after.
Okay. Now, follow up on the dates on the leaflet. Let's see, February 15th was the deadline for our first quarter leaflet, which was the spring-summer leaflet, to come out supposedly the 1st of March. I put out reminders, told people, get your stuff into David Light, February 15th is the deadline. He got so much after February the 15th that he called me and he says, it's going to be, I'm going to shoot for the first week. And Dave Light, you're not here tonight, are you?
No.
Okay.
no.
He said, I'm going to shoot for the first week, Rev. And I said, well, if we get it out in the first week, that's a good thing. But I'm going to tell you now, the fall deadline is September 15th for, wait a minute.
September 15th would be the deadline for October issue.
That's right. And that'll
And
be
that
our
would
fall.
be if Greg was interested in paying for that issue, that would be the issue he would be doing his advertising on. Greg, are you here? There you are. You're hiding way back there. Was that something that you were still interested in doing, Greg?
You talk about end of November, 1st of December is when it has to come out. In order to
You
be
want to
my
do it
business
later? When is it that you want this to come out?
End of November, 1st of December.
End of November, 1st of December. Okay.
Well, we can change that. Greg or any other advertiser, by the way, wanted to go with Greg.
Okay.
You know, another advertiser, and share the cost of putting out the
Greg,
printing of a
would
spatial
you like
holiday
between
issue.
things?
Am I right, Greg?
So you'd want it out between Thanksgiving and December the 1st, correct?
Yeah, and that would be a spatial holiday issue, and the cost and everything would be
That
taken
would
care of
be
between Greg and David.
Between Greg and Dave, yes.
Yep. So we're all set. That's the leaflet. So anyway, September 15th is the deadline. So you can send, if you want an article in the leaflet, send it anytime. Don't wait until September 15th or after. So send it anytime.
That might be a good time.
Try not to make it too long.
Yeah.
That might be a good time if you guys want to do any vending of your items,
Yeah.
to put it in with Greg on that issue of the leaflet so that you're
I
advertising
need to be
what
clear,
you're
I'm
selling.
not going to pay for the whole leaflet if other people are piggybacking. I mean,
No, I don't.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
that's what we're saying. Share the
Yeah.
cost, share the
Greg's
advertising.
leaflet is going to be his own leaflet. I mean,
well,
if
no.
he-
Not if he just, not if he wanted to share it with somebody. that
I
wanted
would
to
be
share
more
the
than
cost with
happy.
him.
He wants them to help pay for it.
Exactly.
That's what
Okay.
I'm thinking.
He is offering to pay for it.
Yeah,
with his
I sure
advertising.
didn't mean to insinuate, Greg, that you were paying for the whole thing, and the other advertisers are going to be in there.
No, you seem to make it very clear when you said share.
Okay, you're going to share.
Yep. Okay, next round of business, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give us a 10-minute break so everybody can get up and stretch, and before we go into an open membership question and answer, give everybody a break. Any board suggestions?
Take a second to thank everybody for
Adrian's
showing
selling
up.
the tickets back there.
I've seen people here tonight that was members of Normal 10 years ago and are coming back. Other people have been 2 or 3 years ago and are coming back. I'm really glad to see you're all here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Board salute you. Any other suggestions from the board? Okay, in that case, folks, I ask you that you would, if you smoke outside, to use the butt can so that we don't leave a lot of cigarette butts outside.